Good evening, you're watching TKC Daily, where we make sense of the global events with straight facts and sharp analysis. Tonight on the show, we begin with the million-dollar question. Has Trump lost the tariff battle? President Trump has paused tariffs for 90 days for all countries except for China, who now faces a staggering 125% tariff. We will tell you everything that has happened in last 24 hours around Trump tariffs. Then France. France is making headlines for a bold diplomatic move. President Emmanuel Macron says France could officially recognize Palestine as a state by June this year. What does that mean for Israel, Europe, and the future of the Middle East? We will decode. Meanwhile, back in Turkey, protests have once again erupted on the streets of Istanbul. Why? Because one of the country's most popular opposition leader, Ekrem Imamoglu, is facing arrest. We look at what's happening and why it matters. And finally, Silicon Valley's biggest feud just went nuclear. OpenAI is now suing its own co-founder Elon Musk, accusing him of waging a malicious campaign against them. This isn't just about AI, this is personal. All this is lined up. Let's get started. What a difference 24 hours can make in the world. If you ask me, it can completely flip the mood of global markets, shake up international diplomacy, and turn a full-blown trade war into an unexpected pause, all in a single day. What a dramatic 24 hours it has been in the world of global trade. In a surprising turn of events, US President Donald Trump has decided to pause the controversial tariffs he had imposed, but only for 90 days and only for countries other than China. In fact, Trump has gone one step ahead and increased tariffs on Chinese goods to a staggering 125%. This sudden pause comes after the European Union retaliated last night with its own set of tariffs on American goods, targeting everything and anything, from cars to whiskey, everything. But once Trump announced the pause, the EU quickly responded by freezing their own retaliatory tariffs. The result? Global stock markets have bounced back in a stunning manner. Wall Street saw one of its best days in months. European markets stabilized and the Asian markets breathed a sign of relief. It almost felt like a temporary ceasefire in a brutal trade war. But while Trump's move has calmed the West, China has been quietly recalibrating its own strategy. In response to Trump's aggressive tariff hike, China is doing four key things. First, China is allowing its currency, the yuan, to weaken, which makes its exports cheaper and more competitive in the international market. Second, China is rapidly diversifying its trade relationships, deepening ties with countries like Brazil, Russia, and nations across Southeast Asia to reduce its dependency on the US market. Third, Beijing is providing similar support to its domestic industries, encouraging them to sell more within China and boost their internal consumption. And fourth, China is using the legal route as well, taking the tariff battle to the World Trade Organization WTO and seeking international support to counter US President's American tariff pressure. But the tariff drama hasn't ended there. It has now taken a fresh political twist. Back home in the US, Democratic Senator Adam has accused the White House of engaging in insider trading. Just hours after Trump paused tariffs on most countries, Adam questioned whether the members of Trump's inner circle profited illegally from the wild swings in the stock markets that followed. Adam pointed to a post by Trump on his platform Truth Social that he made just a day before the announcement, and Trump wrote, "This is a good time to buy," suggesting that people who are close to President may have advanced knowledge of his plans. Adam raised serious concerns about whether Trump's family members or close associates traded stocks, anticipating the market's reaction to the tariff pause. He also highlighted the growing worry about conflicts of interest, pointing out that Trump was trading his own meme coin while being president, and that his children were involved in cryptocurrency trading. Adam has demanded a thorough investigation, saying that Congress needs to not just demand answers, not just demand answers, but also conduct deep oversight to get them. Now, amidst all this drama, President Trump has made bold claim that America is earning $2 billion a day from tariffs. But is this true? Well, not exactly. Data shows that the US Treasury has collected over $200 billion in tariffs over the last 3 years. That comes around $180 million a day. On average, nowhere close to Trump's $2 billion figure. And here's the catch. Most of this money isn't coming from China directly. It's being paid by American importers, which means American businesses and eventually American customers are bearing the real cost of Trump tariffs. So has Trump lost the tariff battle? That's the million-dollar question, and that's why you are here. If you look it from the pure economic lens, yes, Trump may have overplayed his hand. From the very beginning, this seemed like a classic Trump move, testing the waters, seeing how the world reacts, and pushing the limits of America's economic and diplomatic power. But behind the scenes, there must have been immense pressure on him, especially from American billionaires and corporations, many of whom were losing heavily billions of dollars because of this trade war. The stock markets were crashing, the confidence in business, the business confidence was shaken, and there was a real sense of panic within the financial circles. And yet, in some ways, this is also vintage Trump using chaos as a negotiation tactic. By creating pressure, he has managed to push many countries to the negotiation table and may even secure better deals for America in the long run. But in some ways, Trump has definitely retracted. So has Trump lost the tariff battle? I leave that for you to decide. French President Emmanuel Macron has thus dropped a geopolitical bombshell, saying that France could officially recognize Palestine as a state as early as June this year. And this isn't just another diplomatic statement or another diplomatic headline. Macron revealed that France is actively working to host a UN conference in New York alongside Saudi Arabia, where multiple countries can come together for, and I quote, a mutual recognition of both Palestine and Israel. But here's the key thing. Macron says this move isn't about pleasing anyone or scoring political points. It's about doing what he believes is right to revive the long-stalled two-state solution, the idea of two separate independent states, Israel and Palestine, living side by side in peace. Now, why is this such a big deal? Well, nearly 150 countries have already recognized Palestine. The list includes Ireland, Norway, Spain, who have done that in this year, and they have all taken steps in this direction, but France would easily be the most powerful European country to do so. Let's not forget that the US, Israel's closest ally, still opposes recognizing Palestine as a state without a negotiated peace deal. So if France moves ahead, it could change the entire diplomatic landscape of the Israel-Palestine conflict. Well, unsurprisingly, Israel is furious, calling such recognition premature and recognition that could damage the future of peace talks. But from the side of Palestine, this is being seen as a rare win, a step forward to safeguarding their rights and keeping hopes of statehood alive. But Macron didn't stop there. He also took clear jab at the US President Donald Trump, who once suggested turning Gaza into the Riviera of Middle East by relocating Palestinians somewhere else. Macron shut that idea down completely. He said that Gaza is not a real estate project. It's about saving life of people, restoring peace, and finding a political solution that respects human dignity. And he made a brutally honest point. Without peace, without a political framework, without stability, no investor in the world is going to put a single cent into Gaza. So what does this really mean? If France goes ahead, it could trigger a domino effect, with more countries recognizing Palestine and piling diplomatic pressure on Israel. It could also complicate US diplomacy and force the conversation back to the negotiation table. But will it move the region closer to peace or push Israel and its allies even further away? That answer might just start to unfold in the June. The political temperature in Turkey is boiling again. Thousands of people have taken to the streets of Istanbul protesting the arrest of one of the President Erdogan's biggest rivals, Istanbul's mayor. For those unfamiliar, Istanbul's mayor is not just a politician, he's been seen as the face of Turkey's opposition, someone who managed to defeat Erdogan's ruling party in Istanbul's mayor elections back in 2019. And that victory was huge because Istanbul is Erdogan's home turf, a city he himself once ruled. But last week, Turkish authorities arrested Imamoglu on the charges of corruption and abuse of powers, accusation his supporters says are completely politically motivated. The opposition has called this nothing less than a civilian coup. The leader of Turkey's opposition party even called coups are not always carried out by soldiers. This time it's being done by civilians using the judiciary targeting the will of the people of Istanbul. And here's why this is such a big deal. You see, Istanbul's mayor is widely seen as a potential future president, someone who could seriously challenge Erdogan's in next elections of the country. His popularity goes beyond Istanbul. He represents a fresh, modern face in Turkish politics in stark contrast to Erdogan's increasing authoritarian style. So naturally, his arrest has triggered anger not just in Istanbul but across Turkey. Universities, civil society groups and opposition parties all have come together and called this a dangerous attack on democracy. Over the past 10 days, the protests have slowed down a bit, partly due to the end of Ramadan festivals and the universities being out of season. But this week, the streets of Istanbul were filled once again. Thousands chanting slogans demanding Imamoglu's release and accusing Erdogan of trying to crush political dissent. Well, political analysts say that the opposition is now facing two big challenges. One, sustaining these protests in the coming week, and two, turning this public anger into a broader political movement that could challenge Erdogan in the upcoming elections, in the next elections. Well, for now, Erdogan doesn't seem to be backing down. His government has defended the arrest, saying no one is above the law, no one. But the protests show one thing very clearly: Turkey's political fight is far from over, and the battle for Istanbul may just end up shaking the future of Turkish democracy itself. A dramatic AI showdown is unfolding in Silicon Valley. Two of the world's most powerful tech titans, Elon Musk and Sam Altman, are now officially in a courtroom battle. And this isn't just any lawsuit, this is personal. Let's start with the backstory. Elon Musk co-founded OpenAI back in 2015, the mission to build AI for the benefit of humanity. But things didn't stay friendly for long. Musk left OpenAI in 2018 after disagreement over the company's direction. And over the years, tensions only grew. And fast forward to 2023, Musk launched his own rival AI company XAI, and since then he's been openly critical of OpenAI and its CEO Sam Altman. He accused them of betraying their original mission and chasing profits instead of purpose. Last year, Musk took things up to a notch, suing OpenAI for allegedly abandoning its non-profit roots. He accused them of shifting their focus from developing AI for the public good to maximizing profits, especially after Microsoft became one of the OpenAI's biggest investors. Now, OpenAI has hit back hard. In a bold move, OpenAI has filed a countersuit against Musk, accusing him of waging a malicious and sustained campaign to damage them and sabotage their progress. In court documents, OpenAI claims Musk has launched harassment via multiple legal claims, attacked OpenAI repeatedly on his social media platform X, even attempted a hostile takeover of OpenAI, offering a jaw-dropping $97.4 billion. OpenAI believes Musk's real motive is clear: to slow them down or gain control over their breakthrough AI technology or for his own competitive advantage. In their words, and I quote, "tough press attacks, malicious campaigns, broadcasts to Musk's 200 million plus followers. Musk has tried every tool available to harm OpenAI. So the question is, what's at stake? This is not just about bruised egos or corporate rivalry. It's about who controls the future of AI, arguably the most powerful technology of our time. OpenAI is in the middle of a crucial transition, moving from a non-profit model to a capped profit one, designed to attract funding while staying true to its original mission. They're looking to raise nearly 40 billion to fuel their next phase of growth. But they claim Musk's lawsuit, social media attacks, and takeover attempts could derail this transition, costing them both the time and investor confidence. Musk's camp has fired back, dismissing OpenAI's claim as baseless. His lawyer has accused OpenAI's board of violating their fair market competition and acting out of fear of Musk's influence. Now let me give you the bigger picture. This is no ordinary tech feud. This is Silicon Valley's drama at its peak, a battle of vision, ego, power, and control. It's about shaping the future of AI, who gets to control it, and who decides its purpose, and who benefits from it. Musk versus Sam Altman is not just about courtroom and lawsuits. It's a glimpse into the high-stakes world of AI, where fortunes, reputations, and the future of technology itself all are on the line. And that's all I have for you on the show tonight. I will see you tomorrow. Take care and good night.